Do you want to gain muscle as fast as possible? This is going to be your no bullshit guide of how you can stick on 10, 15, 20 pounds of muscle over the next 6 months period of time and really level up your physique. First of all, I'm Bridgman. I'm an IFBB pro and I've been competing at the highest level of bodybuilding for the best part of 5 years. I've been a transformation coach for the best part of 10 years. But more importantly, my story is one from being a super skinny kid, struggling to gain weight, struggling to gain muscle. But finally, I've found the methods and the techniques needed in order for you to take that physique to the next level. So keep watching this video. If you want to finally get jacked this year, I'm going to give you 5 tangible tips that you can take into your own life, and I promise you if you do these, you will guarantee new muscle. First and foremost, the most important thing, we do want you to be in a calorie surplus. This is going to be the easiest and the most efficient tip that you can use. Is going to be just eat in a calorie surplus, but there is more to it than just eating in a calorie surplus. You could eat 1,000 calories in a surplus, 500 calories in a surplus. But realistically, what I want you to focus on is more about the body weight and the rate of gain. Now, the rate of gain is basically just the rate at which your body weight trends. Is it trending upwards? Is it trending downwards? Is it trending the same? Obviously, we're in a surplus and we want to see a trend upwards. And this is one thing that I do with all of my one-to-one clients. Just like my client here, Jagbad, we took a 1% rule, and it's a really good rule that you guys can include into your life. Gain at about 1% a month, 1% of your total body weight in kilos. So if you're 100 kilos, you could look at gaining 1 kilo. Well, if you think about what that is, realistically, it's about 250 grams of body weight per week. I think a lot of people get stuck on trying to gain as much weight as they possibly can every single week, which is great. You're gonna gain some muscle, but guess what else you're gonna gain? You're gonna gain some body fat. And what happens is when you gain that body fat and you wanna finally take it off, every time you do take off some body fat, you will sacrifice that tiny bit of muscle. So the more body fat you have, the more muscle that you're gonna sacrifice long term. So what guys, I want you to focus on more often than not is that rate of gain. So how much are you gaining per week? If you're not gaining between that 100 to 300 gram mark, increase it. If you're gaining under that, increase it. If you're gaining way over that, maybe decrease it. If you're just above it, maybe you just stay there and you see if your metabolism upregulates. But it's really important to make these small, tangible changes that allow your body to adapt to the higher food. We also know that eating in a calorie surplus means that you're eating enough protein, enough carbohydrates to recover and repair from, and also enough fats there to support your hormonal changes. So make sure that you're having a good amount of protein, 1 gram per pound of body weight. Make sure you're eating enough calories overall, and you're having that weight gain focus. The next thing is gonna seem super easy, super straightforward. I want you to get stronger. But I want you to get stronger around a certain parameters. That means it's gonna be how you move that weight. It's gonna mean how well do you connect to that muscle. It's gonna be how good does that look? How much control is it? So it's all good moving a weight from A to B, but I really want you to focus on how you move it from A to B, because there is a lot of other things that come involved with moving a weight other than just muscle. Think about joints, think about tendons, think about ligaments. All of these can offload onto passive tissue, which is basically the tissue we don't want it to be using, and we want to keep it on the active tissue. So all of that is going to come from focus on how you're training. Does it look good? Are you controlling it like the people that you want to look like? You know, don't speed those reps up too much. Don't bounce it off your chest. Instead, full control and get stronger within those parameters. So if you can keep the form exactly the same, but get stronger, in a calorie surplus, you will build muscle. So my next tip that I want you guys to follow is actually just periodically take time away. Now, whenever I bring this subject up with some of my clients, and this is because they're so committed to the goal, they're often quite afraid of taking that time away. Well, the analogy that I like to use with all of my clients, and all of the clients watching this right now are gonna be chuckling because they've heard it so many times before. But if you can think about training as building fatigue, and you've got an empty cup, every time you train, you fill the cup up with a little bit more fatigue. Every time you sleep, every time you eat, you drain the cup of fatigue. Well, there is always residual fatigue that gets built up after each session. You can't always, in theory, repair 100% and reduce 100% of that fatigue. So eventually, that cup begins to get fuller and fuller and fuller and fuller. There comes a point when that cup needs to empty. So what I like to do, what I like to continue the metaphor is, you can think about what's the quicker way to empty the cup, and what's the way that's gonna make you feel better that you empty the cup. The quickest way, turn it on its head and pour it over. That means just taking 4 days off, completely resting, reducing the fatigue that you've got. 4 days, not enough time to lose strength, not enough time to lose muscle, a very, very quick way to lose fatigue. Or you can grab the cup, you can pierce a few holes in the bottom and let it drain a little bit quicker. This is what I like to say is just reducing your volume. If you're someone who wants to stay in the gym, you love going to the gym and it's just a big part of your routine, this is where you'll just poke the holes in the cup, reduce your volume, reduce your intensity, maybe take an extra day off. And this will just allow that fatigue to gradually come down. So you've got the pour out, just stop training, just stop doing cardio for 4 days, or you can slowly come down over a long period of time. Now you're not taking a step backwards when you take this time off, you're just reducing that fatigue in the cup so that you can then build it back up again and pursue and get stronger and focus on doing those things at the even higher level than if you were just trying to train with a load of fatigue in your cup, because it just doesn't work like that. The sessions get worse, the sleep gets worse, your appetites get worse. All of the things that you need to prioritize and preserve when you're looking to gain muscle. Finally, it all sounds good right now. Eat in a surplus, get stronger, take time off when you need it. Well, there also comes a point when you'll eat too much and you'll get too fat and you need to cut back down. So for my hard gainers out there, the guys who are naturally skinny, the thought of being too fat at some point is probably quite far down the road, but there becomes a point when you have to cut back. That comes for a few reasons. Number one, it comes because you gain too much body fat. Too much body fat will lead to poorer level of hormones. It means you won't assimilate food as well. It means your blood glucose won't be as good. It probably means some of the health parameters aren't as good as well. So carrying too much body fat can and will inhibit muscle gain. It will literally make you gain muscle slower, so try not to get that. Another reason why you would cut back is because you just can't physically eat anymore. This might be more realistic for you guys watching this video if you are naturally skinny. For me, my biggest issue has always been how much can I eat, how long can I eat, and can I keep eating for a long period of time. More often than not, I can't. I get to that 6-month mark, I need to pull back, I need to cut back, and I need to just reduce the food a little bit. Think of this like a deload. This, the exact same metaphor. Every time you eat, you have hunger fatigue. So the same concept, feel that hunger fatigue over a long period of time, you need to empty that fatigue. How do you do that? Quickest way, cut a load of calories back. So those are like my 2 biggest reasons, other than if you get injured, of why you should cut back. You gain too much body fat, you can't eat anymore because you've just been eating for too long. Those would be the 2 key indicators of when you should pull back on body fat and when you should pull back on just your diet in general. And then you can quite literally repeat that process over and over and over again. So if you follow these 4 pillars of success, I promise you, you will have no other reason but to gain muscle. So let's just recap, guys. What do you want to do? You want to eat in a calorie surplus. You want to make sure you're getting stronger with the parameters of having the perfect form. You also want to take periodized deloads when you just can't, feel training too good anymore. And then you want to take periodized pullbacks in your nutrition and your diet so that you can carry on eating for the long term. I promise you guys, if you do those 4 things, you're gonna put yourself in a considerably better position for you to gain muscle. So guys, I hope you got like this type of content. If you do, drop a comment, drop a like, share it to your friend, share it to someone who needs to know, share it to a skinny little bish. I promise you, he's gonna benefit from it. So we'll see you next time, guys. Peace.